Welcome to True Word Faith for Life with Dr. Shawn, where biblical truth comes alive through original languages, Hebraic context, and real-life application. Subscribe now wherever you're listening, and let's dive into the Word together. This episode of True Word Faith for Life with Dr. Shawn is brought to you in heartfelt appreciation for the sacrifices of our military and their families. Today we honor your service, your loss, and your legacy. Today is not a holiday. It's a holy day. Memorial Day isn't about barbecues, shopping sales, or kicking off summer. It's about remembering the men and the women who gave everything so you and I could live in freedom. I've stood beside their flag-draped caskets. I've heard the haunting echo of taps breaking the silence in the trees off in the distance. I've watched mothers collapse at gravesides. I've watched sons and daughters saluting fathers they barely knew. And I've buried friends. I've buried brothers, warriors, men and women stronger and braver than me, men and women who never made it home. Some I served beside and some I only knew by the echoes of their sacrifice. But every one of them, every single one, they gave what could never be repaid. They didn't die for applause. They didn't die for recognition. They died for something far bigger than themselves. They died for each other. They died for you. They died for me. They died for freedom. The tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots. Let that sink in. People who never knew you laid down their lives so you could be free. Despite the poor international coverage of this despicable, egregious failure of the Biden administration and his military leaders, these names I'm about to read to you, they aren't trending on X. Not then, not today. But they and so many others deserve to be honored. Their names deserve to be heard, and they need to be honored. On August 26, 2021, a suicide bombing at Abbey Gate of Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul, Afghanistan, claimed the lives of 13 U.S. service members and approximately 170 Afghan civilians. The attack occurred during the final stages of the horrifically egregious military evacuation from Afghanistan. The 13 fallen service members were Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Darren T. Hoover, 31, Salt Lake City, Utah. Marine Corps Sergeant Johanny Rosario Pichardo, 25, Lawrence, Massachusetts. Marine Corps Sergeant Nicole L. G., 23 years old, of Sacramento, California. Marine Corps Corporal Hunter Lopez, 22, of Indio, California. Marine Corps Corporal Dagan W. Page, 23, of Omaha, Nebraska. Marine Corps Corporal Humberto A. Sanchez, 22 years old, of Logansport, Indiana. Marine Corps Lance Corporal David L. Espinoza, 20 years old, of Rio Bravo, Texas. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Jared M. Schmitz, 20, of St. Charles, Missouri. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Riley J. McCollum, 20 years old, of Jackson, Wyoming. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Dylan R. Marola, 20, of Rancho Cucamonga, California. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nukui, 20 years old, of Norco, California. Navy Hospitalman Maxton W. Soviak, 22 years old, of Berlin Heights, Ohio. Army Staff Sergeant Ryan C. Naus, 23, of Corryton, Tennessee. These service members were supporting non-combatant evacuation operations at the time of the attack. Service members were critically injured. Horribly injured. In addition to the 13 fatalities, 45 U.S. service members were critically wounded in the attack. One of the critically injured was Marine Sergeant Tyler Vargas Andrews. He suffered severe loss of blood. He lost limbs. And he later testified before Congress about the events leading up to the bombing. The Abbey Gate attack stands as one of the deadliest days for the U.S. forces during the 20-year conflict in Afghanistan. The bravery and the sacrifice of these service members are honored and remembered for their role in facilitating the evacuation of thousands of civilians to safety. But you know what? Their names aren't trending. They're not famous. But you know what they are? They're heroes. Not just because of how they died, but how they lived. And behind every fallen warrior is a family. A Gold Star family. A mother who wakes up every morning with a wound that never fully heals. A father who wears his son's dog tags around his neck. He never takes them off. He touches them. He taps his chest. And he remembers. Then there's the children who grow up hearing stories about their parent instead of hearing their parent's voice. Freedom has an horrific price. And it's been paid in blood, not by celebrities, and not by politicians, but by patriots. People like Petty Officer Second Class Michael A. Mansour. He was a Navy SEAL, and he was in Iraq, and they were in the middle of a battle, and the enemy threw a grenade in the middle of his brothers. And without hesitation, he dove onto the grenade, knowing full well it would end his life, so that my brothers may live. or Army Specialist Ross McGinnis, who did the same thing in Baghdad. They didn't hesitate. They didn't calculate. They didn't see what this was going to do for them. They just acted. Because in that moment, love for others was greater than love for self. John 15:13, no greater love has he than this, that one lay down his life for his friends. Greater love has no one than this, that one lay down his life for his friends. And that is what Memorial Day is about. It's not political. It's personal. It's painful. And it's sacred. I want you to hear this, especially if you've lost someone. We remember you. And we remember with you. We grieve for you, and we grieve with you. We honor the hero that you lost. And for those of us who are still here, let this be a gut check. Are we living lives worthy of their sacrifice? Are we treating freedom like it's precious? Are we treating freedom like it's priceless? Or are we squandering it on comfort and convenience? The men and women that we remember today didn't die so we could argue on social media. They didn't die so we could mock each other or hate our own country. They died for liberty. They died for freedom. They died for dignity, for your right to believe, to speak, and to live. So, live well. Live boldly. Live gratefully. Let Memorial Day break your heart a little. One of my most viewed photographs is when I went to Arlington, one of the many trips to Arlington. And in this occasion, I went to Section 60 with a wonderful lady, wife of a wonderful man. Her son, killed in extortion 1-7, Aaron Carson Vaughn, Gold Team, DevGro, died with more than 30 of his brothers. I remember taking a photo of the shadow of her head as she was kneeling before her son's grave. A flag, some Swedish fish, and some other things that we got for them. We put some things on other people's graves. And we met some other families, some of whom the dirt was freshly turned. This was their first Memorial Day without their brother, husband, father, uncle, sister, mother, Let Memorial Day break your heart. Let it remind you that freedom is never free. To the Gold Star families, we see you. To the fallen, we remember you. And we will never, ever forget. To the living, I do a seminar called Living Through Grief on Purpose for Gold Star families. And one of the things that I say, let your joyful life be a happy monument to your lost hero. Honor them by how you live. Today you have a choice. You can treat Memorial Day like any other holiday. Or you can treat it like the sacred day that it is. Stand in reverence, or scroll in apathy. You can thank God for the fallen. Take even just a moment and thank them for their heroism and pray for their families. Or you could just forget the cost of freedom. Put it out of your mind. So here's the challenge. This Memorial Day, pause, pray, and remember. If you have young children, take them to a veteran cemetery. Tell the story of someone who died for their country, someone they didn't know who died for their country. Fly your flag, not just as decoration, but as a declaration, because freedom is not inherited. It is defended, it is protected, and it is paid for by blood. Live like someone died for you, because they did. Earn your sunrise. Earn your sunrise. Make your life matter. Make it mean something. And remember, someone you didn't know and didn't know you jumped out of a landing vehicle that was far too far from the beach. Bullets streaming down, killing one after the other. The beaches of Normandy in World War II. And they kept going. They fought their way and died their way across the beach. They climbed the cliffs. And they won the victory in World War II. I want you to think about what your world would be like if they hadn't done that. If you were a Gold Star family member today, I'm thinking of so many. The list is so long. I mentioned Karen and Billy Vaughn. But I'm thinking of Bob Huff. His daughter was only 18 years old. She was only in country just a month or so. She was 18, and she was killed. I'm thinking of the Clay family, of the Stuyvesants, of so many. So many. I want you to think about how you can honor them. 60,000+ people are buried. 60,000+ heroes are buried in Arlington National Cemetery. And there are many, countless more all across the country. Every state, just about, has a veteran cemetery. Look up that cemetery. Go walk those hallowed grounds. Stand at attention and watch the wind blow the American flag. Watch it move in the breeze. That flag waves on the last breath of heroes who were willing to give that last breath for you. Go earn your sunrise. Stop living defeated. Stop letting people roll over you. Stop feeling hopeless. Stop living frozen in place. Go earn your sunrise.